Hey there, my name is Shane Craddock, and this is the Inner Edge podcast, where I share a different take on how to lead and live a sustainable, high-performance life. Over the course of different episodes, I'm going to challenge the belief that tension, stress, and struggle are essential to success and creativity. My experience is that there's an easier way, there's a better way, and indeed there's an essential way that we need to explore for the times that we live in. So let's go ahead, let's jump in and explore. Hello there, welcome to The Inner Edge with myself, Shane Craddock. I am just back from a nice holiday with my family, with Judy and the kids. And I suppose that has probably inspired, well, not probably, it has definitely inspired today's podcast episode, which I'm recording just after the holidays. So it's called Keeping the Holiday Feeling. What was interesting for me with this holiday was we went to Turkey. It was very hot. But for me, you know, people will often talk, if you're going for a week or 2 weeks, that generally when you go into the second week, if you've stayed away from connection with work in terms of email and contact, that you will relax to a different level. And that's definitely my experience. In this case, we were gone for, I think, just 12 days. But what I found interesting was that I was so switched off by day 2 that I was almost horizontal. Now, it might have been the heat, because they're going through a heat wave there. Normally it's about 31 degrees Celsius, 32. It was about 40 degrees, which is definitely too hot for Shane. But we suffered on. And the point that I'm trying to make today is when you're on holidays, you know, when you have a really good holiday or a break, that you move into this very relaxed zone and you have this, what I would describe, holiday feeling. And I used to wonder, I said, wouldn't it be great if you could actually have that holiday feeling outside of holidays? I mean, that's one of the reasons why we love going on holidays, even thinking about holidays, is that we just usually feel happier, lighter, better. And it's just a much more enjoyable experience. But I was always very curious as to why couldn't you have that? Why didn't I have that outside holidays? And then I realized, oh, you can. So you can have the holiday feeling outside of holidays. You just need to understand the inner dynamics of how it's created. And obviously, if you join me on this podcast, you know I take a slant on the inner side of things. That's why I wrote the book, The Inner CEO, is to kind of share my own take on what I consider to be the most important variable in true success, the inner side of business and life. So when I talk about the holiday feeling, what do I mean? I don't mean, you know, okay, hammock, relaxed, you're almost like so relaxed, you're, as I said, horizontal. So it's more to do with, I suppose, an inner relaxation, almost like you have a calm ocean as opposed to a turbulent ocean. It's a very pleasant feeling. All is okay. Now, in reality, I think if you look at that a little bit more closely, you see that you're disconnected from your thinking about your work and your life. And I think that's one of the reasons why you feel better, is that you're distracted from your normal day-to-day thinking. And I think a good way to show this truth is that maybe a day or two before you come back from your holidays, or you're just about to return, have you ever noticed that your thinking starts about work and life starts to come back in? And it can start to remove the holiday feeling. Now, I noticed my own thinking just a day or two before coming back from Turkey, back to Ireland. I noticed some thoughts coming in to do with work. Now, it's because I know a little bit about this area that I realize, oh, I don't want to go into those thoughts. So I'll just let them pass by like clouds in the sky. And that's as simple, I think, as it is. But if you don't understand the basics of your inner world, very often those thoughts can take you over and rob you of that feeling. Now, this is also one of the reasons why I encourage my clients or anybody who I know to take moments during the day. This is in terms of your normal work day, your normal life, where you just let things go. You just let thoughts go. Or where you kind of almost intend on bringing in what I would call a 3C state: calm, clear, centered. Or another way of saying that is free flow mode. Or another way of saying that is holiday feeling mode. Because what is holiday feeling mode really is just the absence of thoughts. When those thoughts that are annoying you, or you're busy with your life and work, worry, anxiety, stress, things to get done, when they're not there, my experience with myself, and certainly with people that follow a little bit what I'm talking about, is that there's this kind of innate feeling that's just there underneath everything that comes out when we're very relaxed. And holidays, of course, generally are where we do relax away from those thoughts. Now, on a normal day-to-day level, this is where, for example, something like a meditation practice can be useful. It doesn't have to be essential, but it can be useful because at its core, meditation is about practicing letting go of thoughts, good or bad, or, just any sort of thought, just let go. That's really what meditation at its core is about. But on a fun level, a very useful inner exercise to do, to experiment with this, even today, even now, is to recall a favorite holiday of yours. Can you think about a holiday over recent years where you just really switched off, you enjoyed yourself, and just for a moment, if you're driving a car, by the way, please stop the car. Don't do this because this will distract you a little bit. So do this when you're stationary. But you could bring to mind that holiday and just steep yourself in the senses. Just recall where you were, looking out through your own eyes, what you saw, what you hear in terms of the sounds and how you felt. And bring in that feeling. Take in the good and just kind of absorb yourself for a minute or two in that feeling that comes from that memory when you picture yourself on that nice feeling holiday. It's a great way to use memories to your advantage. And if you get into that, and the way I'm talking about, you start to feel different. You start to feel better. But why? Why? Because you're activating what I call the projector fundamental, which I explain more fully in my book, The Inner CEO. You've also probably heard me explain it maybe on a couple of podcasts here. But the projector fundamental essentially is whatever you play in the projector of your mind, magnify, you bring to life as a movie, and you also feel it. In the same way, if you're sitting in a cinema, if you're watching a horror movie, you will feel scared. If you're absorbed in the movie, or if you're watching a comedy, you'll laugh. And our mind works the same way. The point of it is that you and I can affect how we feel, regardless of circumstances. So by changing what's in the projector of your mind, you can change how you feel. And this is why two people in the same situation can have very different experiences. I've just seen it so many times. Even dealing with very successful people, I could have one person in the same situation as somebody else, but one person could be very dissatisfied with their life, with no appreciation, complaining, just not happy. And another can be in the exact same situation, and because of their mental focus, they can be very appreciative, very grateful for what they have, and just very happy. Well, why is that? Again, it's down to, I suppose, an awareness of where we're putting our attention. Are we putting it into the moment? Are we putting it into pleasant thoughts? Are we putting it into thoughts that disturb us? And certainly that holiday feeling, I suppose you can guess where that comes from. It doesn't come from focusing on what's wrong. It comes from, I suppose, for most people, it's unconscious because they don't realize necessarily what's happening. They associate getting away with holidays as feeling good. Really, it's more to do with the inner dynamics of what's happening. They're distracted away from their normal thinking. They're perhaps gauged in activities like we did different things, like we did whitewater rafting one day, which was amazing. We were at a boat one day, which is also new for the mind. It's distracting and it's all good. It's not that you don't do it. It is great. But it's just an awareness that you can have that feeling outside of the holidays, bizarre as that sounds. But it's true. That's my experience. So what about you? Now, maybe you've had a recent holiday that you can recall and bring that feeling more into your day during those holiday moments or moments of breaks in your day, back in your normal life. Or maybe you're tired listening to this, or maybe you're looking forward to a holiday. Maybe God, I wish there was a holiday coming up, or maybe there is one coming up. But regardless, you can still stop today and take a few breaks, take an inner break, a few of them. And don't look at your phone. Just focus perhaps on taking some breaths, closing your eyes somewhere, again, where you're static, you're not doing any action. And you could recall a holiday, a great holiday you were on, or a break, and imagine one, bring it to mind and steep yourself in the senses. Bring in that feeling. And what you find is that feeling there, it bizarrely is there when our minds relax. Relax what? When they relax away from interfering thoughts. Now, as I say, holidays might be the activator bringing in that feeling, which is great, but the cause of the feeling isn't actually the holiday. It's the absence of those interfering thoughts. And once you start to consider that and see it, for me anyway, and what I've seen with my clients that are open to this, it's a game changer. Because what that means then is that you can become the creator of the feelings inside you, regardless of your external circumstances. And that is absolutely huge. And so to close out, the holiday feeling that we all love, if when you have a great holiday, it's just an amazing feeling. But what's even better is that it can stay with you even after the holidays. That's it for this week. Ciao for now.